I never make snap decisions. If you sell high-ticket home improvement sales in a one-call close, I'm sure you've heard that before. After personally being in over 16,000 homes and being in this business for over 35 years, one thing you learn fast, especially doing commission sales, is that you hear the same objections over and over. I always get 3 estimates. I never buy anything the first night. I don't make snap decisions. If you want to make more money, you need to stop being surprised by objections you already knew were coming and start learning exactly how to handle them. Here's the good news. There are only so many objections you're going to hear at the end of a sales call. So there's no excuse to be like some of the salespeople I meet who've been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years, and they still wing it every time the customer pushes back. They don't have a strategy. They don't really know what works and what doesn't. They're just reacting to whatever the customer says and hoping they come up with something good in the moment. I call them Christopher Columbus sales reps. Why? Because when Columbus left, he didn't know where he was going, and when he got there, he didn't know where he was, and when he came back, he didn't know where he'd been. Don't be Columbus. Know where you're going before you walk in that door and how to handle I never make snap decisions. So stay to the end. I'll tell you why they really say it, and I'll give you the exact words I use to turn it around, word for word. And if you want to stop winging your closes and start hearing yes more often, please subscribe because I put out new scripts and strategies every week. And if you want my free mini course on the one-call close, grab it in the description below. It's the exact system I've used in over 16,000 homes. The first thing to understand is that I never make snap decisions is not an objection you can turn. It's a smokescreen objection. It hides the real objection, which is usually the price. Keep in mind that this means that you've done your sales presentation correctly and that you made them want it and think it's worth it. A lot of people don't recognize it as a smokescreen and they think, I never make snap decisions is the objection. I always compare sales to a seduction. So if you ask someone to marry you and they said, I never make snap decisions, would you know what's really going on other than the fact that they said no? Would you tell your friends the reason they said no was that they don't make snap decisions? Of course not. It could be anything. It could be that she hates you or that she's really close to saying yes, but you caught her off guard in the moment and it was almost a knee-jerk reaction. They're either saying no or not yet. That's a big variance. The point is that you don't know what it means. In sales, that means that you need to get past the smokescreen to get to the real objection. That brings up an important point for any close. The close won't work unless they want it and think it's worth it. You do that before the price, not in the close. If the issue is that they don't want it or see the value, no amount of closing will fix that, and now you end up being a high-pressure salesperson, trying to make someone do something they really don't want to. That's why the real close is always in the sales presentation. That's because if you make them want it, the close is easy because now you're just helping someone get what they want versus pressuring them into something they don't want. Big difference. Now this is the key if you're new to one-call closing. People buy when they make only 2 decisions. 1, do they want it? And 2, can they afford it? If the answer to both those questions is yes, they buy, and if not, they don't. Those are the only 2 decisions involved. Everything else is camouflage. Anything you buy, once you break it down, those are the only 2 decisions involved, and if you want it and can afford it, you buy. The want it part is in the sales presentation, and the afford it part is usually in the close. Once they want it, then you help them get it in the close, usually by making it affordable. If they want it, there's really no other objection than the money. I mean, if it was $100, how many people would buy? If you didn't say all of them, then you're losing in the sales presentation, not the close. So if you did your job in the sales presentation and they do want it, how do you get past the smokescreen objection of, I never make snap decisions, and bring it to the real objection, which is usually the money? I'm sure you've heard people say that you need to bring it to the money in the close, or that you need to isolate the objection to the money. Another way of looking at it is that you're helping someone get what they want, and you're figuring out the problem that's keeping them from getting what they want. You're helping them clarify the situation. We do this for a living. We know it's the money. A lot of times customers aren't able to define the problem, and because of that need help solving it. Haven't you ever gone to look at a coat and instead of buying it thought, I need to think about this? Or might even said to the salesperson who asked you if you wanted it rung up, I don't make snap decisions, I need some time. That's what you thought or said, but was it the real issue? Did you consciously say or think what it really was, that it's a lot of money? Maybe you did, but for most people and our customers, they just give you fancy ways of saying no, or the smokescreen, I don't make snap decisions. So by bringing it to the money, you're helping clarify the issue and helping the customer get what they want. The way you isolate the objection to the money is when you can say, so other than the money, is this what you definitely want? Or do you have any other concerns other than the money? Or is money your only concern? However you say it, you're clearly narrowing it down to the objection of money. Then you can solve it from there. So the skill set or close is to learn how to bring it from the smokescreen to the real objection of the money. The first thing you want to do, like any objection, is to back off to help take their sales guard down. This is when it will be at its highest. A lot of people say, well, I understand, or concede by saying, no problem. I like to take it a step further by saying, so I know what information to leave you. Can I ask you a question? Either way, you need to lower their sales guard. Here's an example of how it sounds the way I like to do it. So other than never making a snap decision, do you have any other concerns? No, Ron. Would it be okay if I leave you some information and that way you have more to think about? Sure. Well, first of all, whether you do this or not, it's not a snap decision. If I just came into your house and talked to you for 10 minutes and then I snapped my fingers and said, well, it's $20,000, how do you want to pay for it? That would be a snap decision. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the 2 hours that I've been here, you've probably talked and thought more about windows than you have in your entire life, right? Yeah, I guess so. So whether you do it or not, it's not a snap decision. I guess my other question is that if this wasn't $20,000, but it was $10,000, would you still be thinking about it or would you be hiring us? Oh no, I mean, if this was $20,000, I'd be doing it, Ron. So this really has nothing to do with making snap decisions. It just comes down to the money like it always does, right? Yeah, I guess it really does. So I guess my question is, other than the money, do you definitely want these windows? Yes. That's just one example, but hopefully you get the strategy of what I'm doing. Then once you isolate the objection to the money, be sure you get what type of money. I do this by saying, so when you say it's the money, do you mean you're not sure if it's worth it or just more than you can afford? Oh, it's just more than I can afford. Because when someone says it's too much money, it could mean that they don't think it's worth it or that they can't afford it, and they're handled two entirely different ways. Now keep in mind that if they say it's not worth it, that you lost it in your price conditioning, which happens during the sales presentation, and you need to work on that section. Ideally, if you did your sales presentation right, then when they say it's just the money, that means it's just that they can't afford it. Now if you want to dig deeper on what to do once you isolate the objection to the money, including if they say it's not worth it, check out the next video on Reps Get This Money Objection Wrong. Last thing. If today's video helped you, the free mini closing course goes deeper on exactly this. Word-for-word scripts, real objection handling, same format, and at no cost. Links in the description below or above. Happy selling!